We are talking about what happened with Diddy. People are saying that Diddy was, in fact, humiliated in court. And I'm people. You guys, we need to talk about what happened with Jane Doe's testimony. We also need to talk about a way one of Diddy's SMEX workers is coming out of shadows. And this is somebody that did not testify in court and literally is telling everybody what we all know. No matter what you think about Diddy, Cassie, her wanting it or her not, at the end of the day, things turned super, super, super dark when it came to Diddy. Things turned super, super dark when it came to Cassie, and it turned. And no matter how much this man whines or dines. Now, let me just say this, right? A lot of people have been speculating about Jane's testimony, okay? I was also a little concerned, not because of her testimony. I actually think she's a really, really strong witness, but the way that when you read the live tweets, when you read the recaps, it doesn't hit the same. She's actually doing an incredible job on the stand. As a matter of fact, Jane, there was a little spicy moment yesterday with her and Tinny Garagos when what did she say? She was like, with her and Tinny Garagos, and she was like, it went like this. She was like, a lot of people, you got mad because Diddy took this woman to Chanel, okay? And she was like, didn't you get a Bottega bag? And she was like, no, she's like, didn't you get a Van Cleef bracelet? And she was like, okay, but what's that got to do with anything? And she said, and you got a Bottega bag. And it was really condescending the way she was. Mind you, Tinny Garagos was dressed in head to toe Chanel, right? So keep that in mind. It's going to come in. Tinny Garagos was like dressed in head to toe Chanel. And they said, sorry, I have a doggy scratch right there. Don't worry, nobody did eat me, right? But Tinny Garagos was dressed in like head to toe Chanel. And she was like, didn't you get a Bottega bag? And she was like, okay. And she's like, I mean, how much does a Bottega bag cost? Bottega bags are like what? $1,500 to $10,000 if you get the big woven one, right? But Jane's answer was no. So Jenny was like, so like between $1,500 and $5,000. And no, so then, sorry, I'm getting this wrong. So Jane said to her, how much does it cost? And she looked at Tinny and was like, I'm sure you have one. Like, you tell me, right? And the court was like, oh, right? So then Tinny was like, actually, I don't. Some people tried to make it seem like Tinny was like, actually, I don't know. The way I took the tone, she was literally stunting on her and being like, girl, this is all Chanel. I don't wear. This is all Chanel. I don't wear Bottega. That's poor people's clothes. She was trying to stunt on her. So anyway, then she was like, well, how much does it cost? And Jane was like, yo, how much does my body cost? Right? And then you could tell that she got under Jane's skin, and Jane all of a sudden was like, you know what? Can we have a break? Can we move on? Can we have a break? And she went out of her way to go have a break. Now, listen, right? The testimony. I get it. You read it online, and it's not coming across too well. I get it. You read the testimony, and it's not... So I'm just blending this out. You read the testimony, and it's not coming across too well online. I 100% get it. But the thing is with that, okay? Oh, yeah, also, you guys, I'm going to be on Nancy Grace later today. That's why I got this TV caster makeup on. I'm also going to be... So here's the thing. A lot of you guys want me to do an end of the week recap, and you guys want a chance that you can call in and talk and do whatever. I am going to be doing my first pod on Spoutable. The link is going to be in the description box. I'm going to be doing my first pod on Spoutable. The link is going to be in the hold on. The link's going to be the link's going to be in the description tag. It's going to be kind of like a town hall. There's going to be as many people. It's going to be kind of like something like a Twitter Spaces, but I will let you guys drill me, ask me questions. We can get into the Diddy stuff. I will give you guys honest answers on everything I saw, but you're going to have to, the link, don't worry, it's free, and you don't have to sign up to actually join the discussion or even listen in, okay? But I will be on Spoutable this Friday, I believe at 7 p.m. The link will be in the description. You can go and reserve a space. I'll remind you guys even Friday after I do my live, but we're going to do a daily end of the week podcast, okay? Again, you guys can call in. It's going to be like a Twitter Spaces. It's going to be multiple people talking. We can really, really get into it. And I can really, really, really let you guys know what exactly is going on. Okay? So let's get in that. I'm also going to be on Nancy Grace today. And don't forget the ABC Live. I'm going to be on there soon. And also, of course, Nightline I've already been on. And I am hoping they're going to have me back really, really soon, right? So anyway, you guys, listen. But don't forget Friday. I want to have this town hall, and I want you guys to join me on Spoutable. You don't need to download the app, even though you can. Just go in through the link, join, talk. I'll let everybody talk. We can listen in. Oh, you know what? I'm even hoping that we get Mel NYC and a few other people on there to give like their takes. All right. Becky said, T said, sis, you're killing it on Nancy Grace. The sisterhood is extremely proud of you. Get a cup of tea and lemon to soothe your throat and spill the tea later. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my throat. I guess I've been yapping too much. But let me just say this, right? For everybody that is feeling down about the media coverage, please hold the line. I know when you listen to Jane Doe, right? I know when you listen to when you read Jane Doe's testimony in the tweets, it comes across very differently than what she is saying on the stand. I'm telling you, I think she comes across as 100% credible. I don't think that you can ignore the violence, right? And I don't think that you can ignore the fact that they have him dead to rights with sex trafficking by coercion, okay? Cha Win, thank you so much. By coercion. You have sex trafficking by force. And you also have it by fraud, okay? This is a case by fraud. Now, the fact that she keeps referring to him as my lover, my partner, yeah, it is a bit weird. But like most victims, right? By most victims, Jane Doe is still very, very much in love with that man. Dell said, well done, Tisa. We support you here in England. Thank you so much, Dell. I hope you guys join me on Spoutable, okay? It's going to be a really, really good time. But thank you so much, Dell. Again, how can I say this and just to say it, okay? She did good. She's doing good. Now, Diddy's team's going to come back with the thing that he was just some poor patriot saint, a wayward crackhead, and he was just, since he was on drugs, he didn't know what he was doing. Listen, having bad breath and graying gums is not a defense, okay? I'm sorry. Literally doing the crackhead shuffle and being in the corner while you dress in a burqa from the neck up and neck up from that is not a valid defense, okay? Ivy Curtis said, good morning, Tisa. Breakfast on me. Oh, thank you. Ohio loves you and your content. Thank you so much. Ohio. All the little chicks with the crimson lips go Cleveland. Hey, good morning. Okay, let me get to work, right? So anyway, right? The whole point of the matter is the fact that somebody is going to take this incredible violence and say, what? My mama didn't hug me. My daddy didn't love me. I never thought I was enough. That doesn't fly in federal court. Yes, I know the juror can maybe go in there and just on vibes and just say, no, not guilty, but they're going to have to show in the testimony where they see that, okay? Now, I do want to say that even in that, it's called juror nullification, where the jurors made a decision so opposite of what the facts are that it's called nullification and it moves into a new trial. Now, if it is a mistrial like Diddy's been screaming at, Diddy is still going to stay in jail until the next trial, okay? The fact that at the end of the day, these witnesses who, moving forward, if anybody testifies in a sex trafficking case or anything, especially around celebrities, you need to not only say you want to be anonymous, but if you're testifying, I would be like, put me behind the screen. Y'all not going to do this, because it was sick what the defense did when they made Jane read all those texts where she was literally trying to become Diddy's fantasy. But you see from the text anyway, the fact that she's like, yeah, babe, I thought you said I didn't have to do this. Again, sex trafficking takes different forms. Again, if I was gonna testify, I would 100% demand that you put me behind the screen. I will 100% demand that you could not see me. I will 100% demand that all you could do would be hear my voice. Now, I know if y'all heard my voice broadcasting, you'd be like, Tisa, we knew it's you. The gig is up. But the point of the matter is, I do wish that everybody had anticipated how cruel, how ignorant, and how repulsive that there would be members of the public. Now, hear me out. I do think that the members of the public are farmed by Diddy's team. I think Diddy's PR is on the ground at the courthouse doing a horrible job, making all the wrong connections. Like literally, I don't know if they are trying to, listen, I'll do a recap at the end of this. I just know that Diddy's PR on the ground seems to be doing a horrible job. But at the end of the day, you know, what do you do with rotten zucchini? It's not like lemons where you can make lemonade. What do you do with rotten zucchini? It's rotten zucchini, okay? But I do wish that there had been something that literally helped the victims stay more anonymous, because there's a lot of ignorant people out there, and they could be trolls, they could be paid bots, it could be Diddy teams, it could be Diddy supporters, it could be whatever, right? There's a lot of cruel people out here. But even the way they were making Jane read out loud. Miss B said, good morning. Great morning, beautiful. I saw your interview with Nancy Grace. I love Nancy. She's tough. However, you did an amazing job. Salute, salute. Thank y'all so much. All right. Listen. I think at the end of the day, what's going on is, you guys, anyway, we'll talk about that. I think what's going on is there is a media thing, and Diddy's team is literally going to say that somehow he was the victim in all this. You don't get to be a victim and then victimize other people. Again, the testimony for Jane yesterday was sharp. It was astute. I know that everybody's like, oh, the day before she was crying and now she's not crying. What do you expect somebody to do when you know that they're there to F up your BS? What are you supposed to do? You're still supposed to sit there and be like, let me get this straight. So with Mia, everybody was mad saying, oh, she seems like she's so, like this is fake because she was sitting on the stand trying to be sad on both days, even though it crossed. That wasn't real. Now these same people are coming back and saying Jane, because she was crying when she was talking to the prosecutor who had her back. And now, right, that Jane is being cross-examined, right? Now that Jane is being cross-examined and she's sitting there and she's waiting because she's sitting there. She knows what's coming at them. She sees Diddy sitting there smirking at her. She sees all this stuff, right? What's she supposed to do? What do y'all want from people? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you cry too much, you're playing the victim. If you dry your tears and you sit up high, all of a sudden, oh, this seems that. I've heard the rumors that people are trying to say that Diddy somehow paid off Jane. I think that's a dangerous game to play, because at the end of the day, and I gotta be real, I see why Gina actually didn't testify. Because the way they are ripping apart the victims, they ripped apart Cassie, they ripped apart Jane, they ripped apart Mia. The way they are ripping apart the victims, I see why Gina didn't testify. And I know I was one of the biggest people calling her, you big dummy. This would have been the time to take him down. But at what cost? Well, Jane sat there and had to read the most vulgar, disgusting, humiliating text. She has a kid that's probably going to have to read this too. There was no reason. The only reason they read it was to humiliate her. Do you see what I'm saying? So I really don't understand. I see why Gina said, no, I'm not testifying. Right. Chantel Maynor said, of all the people on the internet keeping us updated, I rely on you. Good job. Thank you. Now, here's the thing, right? But again, I see why Gina didn't testify. I see why, because of the way they are ripping apart Jane. Now let's talk about the rent. Let's talk about the rent, and let's talk about the lawyers, because y'all know I give it to y'all straight, okay? You know that I want this man put away. I think he's 100% guilty by the law, morally, divinely, justice, Jezebel, Hezekiah. I don't care what you believe. I definitely believe that he needs to be accountable for all this, right? I will say this, right? Jane did say a few things. Jane said, one, that he's paying her rent. Now, here's the thing. Because there are text messages and maybe even phone calls, but definitely text messages, when Diddy is screaming, charge me, give me a number, just give me a number, basically demanding that she give a monetary number so that they can be in accord. And this is after he got, this is before he got arrested, but after the raids and the federal grand jury, and he knows what's going on. Because he knows all that exists, okay? And he was demanding, he 100% the bribery, the witness tampering, the try to buy off. Because he was paying her rent, if he pulls it away now, he can do whatever he wants. But if he pulls it away now, it definitely looks like he is punishing her for testifying. Miss Al said, I'm so confused about this rent thing and the legal fee is still being paid. What is that all about? Miss Al, let's get into it, all right? All right? Now, the thing is, also, Pete said you're doing an amazing job when you cover Chris Brown case. Maybe. I have to see. I might. I'm going to start covering a lot more cases. But here's the thing, right? It looks weird for him to be still paying rent. However, if he stopped rental payments now, this would look like he was punishing her for her testimony. This would mean more federal charges. Now, when it comes to more federal charges, right? He doesn't want that. On top of that, okay, you don't even want to look like. Now, here's the thing. The lease was up in April. So technically, he could have stopped, right? Technically, he could have stopped paying rent. However, I think he continued paying rent after the lease was up because I believe he wants Jane to look like she's compromised. I think all these rumors about her being on his payroll, I think it's coming from that cap, right? Listen, I think that it's coming from, I think they're trying to make it look like she's paid off. That she's trying to make it look like, again, I will say that this trial, and I've talked to a lot of seasoned lawyers, and I've talked to a lot of seasoned vets, they have literally said over and over that they've never seen anything like this on trial. They've never seen anything like this on trial. And they've repeatedly said that over and over and over and over, okay? It is chaos. It is demonic energy. It's a lot. Even like these fires with them like trying to cozy up to bloggers and get this out and make up false headlines on Friday that you can clearly see are fake on Monday. This is what they do. And I do think it's all coming from Diddy's camp. And this is what he is known for. And this is what he does. Okay, so you have that, okay? Now, if you stop paying the rent in April when the lease is up, which legally could have, I think he wanted to, one, make it look like there was some type of impropriety with Jane. He is a very forward-thinking person. He is a very calculated person. He is a very conniving and manipulating. So we can't actually say that he wouldn't actually do something to help his case, even if that, you see what I'm saying, right? And at the end of the day, despite what defense is trying to make us think, 10K, even now with Diddy's current monetary state, 10K is not ish. It's throwaway money. It always was. So for the defense to act like, oh my God, listen, if you got a dude that's like a manager at IKEA and he is giving you 10K a month, that man loves you. Because he is giving you all his salary. He might even be giving you double because he's like, yo, I don't even make 10K a month. That is different from somebody that literally spends 10K a night on a hotel suite. You see what I'm saying? Where your private flights from New York to LA are costing at least $85,000 in gas. And that's before you, in jet fuel. And that is even before you pay, hold on, y'all. And that is even before you pay the pilot, before you pay the stewardess, before you pay the cart thing. Like when I say, and he would be taking it back and forth like it was a taxi. Miss Gang Smasher said, Tisa, you are a lefty like me. No wonder you're so smart. A star is born. Get a manicure and show off those pretty hands. Love you. Tamara, a.k.a. MGS. Thank you for your kind thoughts, and thank you so much. I will say one thing when it comes, no, I'm on a non-toxic thing. Nail polish is very, very toxic. And so is the LED lights cause cancer. I'm sick of dying to be pretty and beautiful. No. I will get in the gym. I'm going to work on getting the body right. Y'all know I indulged a little bit too much over holidays. I'm going to get in the gym. I'm going to work on getting the body right. But when it actually comes, because health is wealth. Clean, glowing skin, healthy hair, a body that is tight and mobile and that can move and bring youth back, baby, that is the new wealth. F all that other stuff. People can have those Chanel bags. They can have the Cartier bracelets, baby. I'm going to make sure this year that my health shows that God has blessed me abundantly, right? So make sure y'all ready, because you know when that drops, I'm gonna be in the bikini all day on Instagram. The show God, not the flex, but the show God's creation. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Listen, okay, well, if there are non-toxic nail polishes, I'll look for them. Again, there's ways, but I'm on this journey to like non-toxic stuff. I'm on a journey, so just rock with me, but it is well received, and I will do what I can to dazzle y'all with the nails, all right? But I will do with what I can, right? Again, there's so much toxic mess. I'm not getting cancer when I'm in late. No. Health is wealth. I'm going to literally do what I can. Glowing skin, healthy hair, yes, healthy nails, but like none of the toxicity. And also at the end of the day, the body's gonna be banging. Health is mobility. Y'all gonna be seeing me doing like pretzel stretches. Anyway, let me get back into this, right? So back to Diddy and what is going on, right? Back to Diddy and what's going on. So you're paying, right? You paying Jane's rent. Now, I think you want to do that to create the notion of, to make it look like she might be still on your side, to also look like a good guy. Because think about it. Central to Jane's testimony was, and we gotta be forward thinking, because Diddy is diabolical in my opinion. Similar to when it came to Jane, what is the one thing she said? That she only did the freak offs because what? Diddy was paying her rent. And if she didn't do the freak offs, then she would be homeless with her child, right? That Diddy would make her homeless with the child, okay? So what do you do to prove that wrong? Even after the lease expired in April, you still keep paying rent. Why? Because you want to say to the jury, and even when Diddy gets on that stand and testifies, and I think he will, that I kept paying her rent. What is she talking about? Listen, I'm sorry if she could not voice adequately, right? I'll get that. I'm sorry she could not voice adequately that she didn't want it. But I kept paying her rent, and I would have never made her homeless. I just thought we were in the freaky stuff. This is diabolical. This is what the defense is going to prove. He was still paying your rent. So if he was still paying your rent, how can you say it was because of the freak-offs? Don't you know? That's what they are doing. That is why that's what they're doing, and that is why, hold on, y'all. That's what he's doing, and that is why I believe he is still paying Jane's rent, okay? So he can say it was never about that, and I would have always paid your rent, even though we know it wasn't, because there are a million messages where he is screaming at her, I'll make you homeless. You want that roof over your head? You better get on your job. You better do this. You better do that. It doesn't matter what you would have done. It's what the person believed you would have done. So if you make a threat that you will bust my face open, it doesn't matter whether you're trying to scare me or not, right? At the end of the day, you wanted me to believe the threat was true. You wanted me to believe the threat was true so I could do something. And you wanted me to believe that the threat was true so I could do something that benefited you. And that's what's going on right now with Diddy and Jane. Diddy wants to say, yo, I didn't know, okay? Jane is like, you threatened me. You made me think it was true. You beat me till next Tuesday. You did all this stuff. Why would I not believe you? And on top of that, I saw you do it to so many other people. And I even saw the Cassie lawsuit, and I knew you would do that. And again, you got to ask somebody that knew they were under federal grand jury investigation, knew all that stuff was popping off. And the first thing you did when you could was ravage and beat and mistreat someone. It makes you think, what the hell is really wrong with that person? Sunshine said, rub coconut oil on nails nightly. You get healthy nails with inner shine. Thank you. Tisa, don't forget to put your armor of God before you start your day. Love you, sister. Thank you so much, Sunshine. And I 100% will, okay? Now, what's the second thing that's a very, very weird? That Diddy is paying for Jane's lawyers. She's paying for Jane's lawyers. And up until April, Jane was meeting with Diddy's legal team, with his defense team. Now, I do not know when the prosecution subpoenaed Jane. I don't know. But with the meeting with the lawyers up until April, part of the reason they're doing that, I think up until April, Jane was still rocking with Diddy, just like all the other women do. Up until April, I do believe that Jane was still rocking with Diddy. Now, when you say about like meeting with the defense team, they could have been coaching her on what to say. They could have been doing this. But I think one of the things they were definitely doing was trying to put the cloak of attorney-client privilege over Jane. Because think about it, right? If Jane is in all the meetings and privy to all the stuff, and they talk about all the stuff with Jane, there is attorney-client privilege. And all the stuff they discuss, all the stuff that Jane told them, all the stuff that they did, that cannot be bought in court. Again, I want to tell you that there are two wars being fought. What the jury can hear and what we know in court. Diddy's team is dirty. And if it doesn't let you know that the law is not just, but it is an opportunity at justice. Because it is a game where you can get this withheld and that withheld. That can't be said, but this can't be said. So when you get in front of the jury, it just doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't make sense. Now, I do think the prosecution is doing a great job, and I think we need to hold tight. Things are not as dire, right, as Diddy's team would make us to believe, right? It's not as dire as it may. And it's not dire at all. The feds have 100% proven their case. But when you look at that whole thing about Diddy paying Jane's rent, I think he did that because he wants to say that me paying your rent was never about me. Stop paying your rent was never about the freak offs. However, the prosecution can also rebuttal when it's time for Diddy's team. So if you guys don't know, let me just explain this. When you're on direct, you can only do so much. When you're on cross, you can be like cutthroat, okay? Right now, because it's the prosecution side and there's their witnesses, they can't really go in, right? Because again, it's rules to this game. Law is a game, okay? So it seems like right now, Diddy got them shooters out on the field. Right? Tinny getting up, Gary. And even though I will say, something was off with Tinny yesterday. She was not doing the type of cross that we know her for. Something was off. I don't know. And we got out of court early. I don't know if she was feeling unwell. I don't know if something was happening with the jurors. I really honestly don't know. But I know that the Tinny we usually know was not up there questioning Jane. It was very... right? It was very, right? But, right? Brittany Nicole Wilcox, thank you so much for the super chat, right? But I will say that also, Miss Westmoreland, Xavier, Brian Still, Mark Anfilio, they've been like, all the time, and everybody's been like, oh my God, will you look at this? They made all the witnesses look like liars. First of all, they did not, because I was in that courtroom, and a lot of stuff they said was like, that don't even make sense. But second of all, you need to remember something. When you are direct, there's only so far you can go. When you are the cross-examiner, that's when you can get, is it not true? Is it not true? Like Judge Aaron said, is it not true? You lied to the members of the jury. Again, I thought what Westmoreland did was absolutely morally despicable. However, it was super effective, and she is at the top of her game. If I got in trouble, I would 100% try to hire her. That's what I mean. She was a good lawyer. She did what she was paid to do, right? But when we get into the mess about, oh, the prosecution needs to do more, you guys, hold tight. Because the prosecution, next week, when it's Diddy's team that is bringing up the witnesses and they're on direct, and then the prosecution gets to be the ones to cross-examine. The cross-examine is when you get to go in. You get to make them look like a liar. You get to turn out put a show on for court. You get to put the person's credibility into the mud. I believe that's when the prosecution is going to say it is my time to shine, and they're going to put it down. So you need to realize that this is a game right now, right? Diddy's team has the ball. But next week, the prosecution's going to have the ball. And again, everybody acts like when Diddy's team gets up there, the prosecution is going to be like, so tell me, Mr. I would assume they're going to call D-Rock or KK. Tell me, Miss KK, or tell me, Mr. D-Rock. No, they're going to be like, so is this not you? Is that not you? Did you not do that? Did you? What? I didn't hear you. That's when they're going to go in and be more aggressive and give us that theater and drama to not only us, but to the jurors, that's going to make Diddy's team look like liars. Again, whoever is on the cross has to play by the rules. I'm sorry, whoever's on the direct has to play by the rules, and whoever's on the cross, that's when they can start sniping, you know? Sass Bridges says, God's precious teeth has been following you for over a year now. I was able to watch the Nancy Grace show last night. I was proud of you like a big sis. Oh, thank you, Sass Bridges. I appreciate you. So listen. Again, I'm just want to tell you guys, hold tight. It's all okay. Please hold tight. Hold on really quick. Sorry, guys. Okay. So anyway, I'm also going to be on Nancy Grace today. But all right. So you guys, hold on. The prosecution is about to do their thing. Everybody acts like Diddy has a slam dunk. He does not have a slam dunk. Diddy is he is an evil Marvel supervillain. But even with evil Marvel supervillains, sometimes you outsmart yourself. Sometimes you outsmart. Listen, sorry, you said she put us on hold like a phone call. Love it. Listen, somebody said, I hope jurors have the brains to understand that what they're trying to do. Humiliate on cross the victim witness. Same here in Greece, unfortunately. Thank you. Listen, Maria, I hear what you're saying. I do want to say this, that the prosecution is not going to let Diddy's side off. And that is their time to rip it apart, to call them a liar, to perjure, to do all the stuff that Diddy's team is trying to do. So I know it feels like, according to these outside reports, that Diddy's team has the upper hand. They do not. And the fact that they haven't even been able to squeak a clear victory, and the prosecution is doing the cross for the next 3 weeks, it's not going to happen. And if Diddy is dumb enough to testify, I actually low-key hope he testifies. If Diddy is dumb enough to testify, you guys, if Diddy is dumb enough to testify, I can't wait. I hope Maureen Comey digs into him, because she's really, really good on the cross. They're all good, but I really love Maureen Comey's style. You know, she might be running the SD. Emily is really good too. The other girl, Estebaz, I think, they're all good, but I want Maureen Comey to be like, and dig into him on that cross. When Maureen Comey be getting into her bag, she starts leaning to the side and being like, so anyway, that's what. So listen, with the Jane, the pay and the rent, her lease expired in April. Diddy wants to make it seem, right? Diddy wants to make it seem like, hold on. Diddy wants to make it seem like, I'm just a nice guy. You didn't have to do those free calls. And I'm sure, to some of you guys' point, he also, somebody said, that man is not testifying. You don't know Diddy. He is 100% going to testify. He is 100% going to testify. You can even see it in his body language. But you know what? We will see. I could be wrong. That's just my guess, right? But my whole point is that when it actually comes to, when it actually comes to, Honeybee Therapy, thank you so much for the super chat, mama. When it actually comes to that, I think it's also an argument to be made that he did it because he was hoping that he would let her know, kind of subconsciously, that, you know, there's still, right? There's still something. There's still something over there, right? Brooklyn's and Japan said, hey, love your work. I'm praying for your continued love. Yana, can't wait to buy that merch. Yo, I think the Yana merch should be up there today. Yana, I think that merch should be up there today, all right? Listen, so I think he's trying to keep the thing, but I see now why Gina didn't testify. I don't blame her now. The way these witnesses are being ripped apart, I do not blame. Sabrina Vanderwolf, thank you so much. Again, with him paying the legal, I think that Jane was rocking with Diddy all the way up till April. And I think something happened and she was like, you're just making a fool out of me. And she did say that she actually got into therapy and now she's learning to unpack what actually happened. However, with that whole thing, you realize that a lot of conversations they had, because she was sitting right next to him, she thought that they were being in love and he was finally valuing her. No, he was just keeping her close so she couldn't talk about a lot of things in court because attorney-client privilege, you know? Christine Bub Watson, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, it's very, very diabolical. I do want to say that regardless of what anybody says, I have been in the court, right? I have been in the court no matter what anybody says. And I do think, hey, Rob, I have been in the court no matter what anybody sees, I think the court lawyers are coming in here. So the reporters have, I'm seeing the Rob coming in right now. The reporters have a lawyer that argues as far as what should be given, what should be done, what should go this, what could go that, okay? So the reporters are literally, they're fighting in court right now because they feel like the judge's order is overly restricted. And also, I honestly think that, it's my opinion, I feel like Diddy's team is going out of their way to plant stuff and to set people up and to find ways so that they can keep everything being treated out of the court. Because like I said with Diddy, I honestly believe Diddy can't win on the facts. All he can win on is misinformation. All he can win on is smoke and mirrors. All he can win on is distraction. Doreen M, thank you so much for the super chat, all right? Anyway, so where are we at, right? Listen, listen. So here's where I'm at, okay? So that's what's going on with Jane. Now, Jane did say that Diddy was bi, and he said that he was a crackhead. However, I do think that that is eerily enough. I think that it's going to be foreshadowing on what Diddy's defense is going to be. You were a crackhead, and you were sick, and you were this, and you're bi. So, but all that said, those are excuses. Y'all realize in a court of law, those are excuses for why you did it. But you still had to do it. Those were excuses for why you did it. It does not matter that when I go into your purse to take money, and then you see me and you're like, and I'm like, no, you don't understand, I'm hungry, I couldn't eat, blah, blah. Even though I do want to say thank you to Pat, Melissa, Jane. Anyway, and I'm like crying, you don't understand, I had to eat. And you're like, yo, Tisa, you going to jail, you robbed me. And I'm like, no, I just took money out of your purse because I was hungry. And they're like, no, you stole money from me, that is illegal. Just because I am giving you excuse and calling it a different thing doesn't mean that under the letter of the law, I went into your purse, I took money, and I used that money to buy food. Whatever you want to call it, I stole from you. So if I stand in front of the judge and I'm like, no, you don't understand. No, I didn't rob you. I took money out of your purse, unbeknownst to you, without your permission, so I could feed myself because I was starving. Yeah, that is the definition of robbery. Preston Wayne Martin said, great work, T. said, thank you so much, Preston. And Brandy Sashington said, Tiddy did more horrific things than people know about. Please check your email. Brandy, I 100% will. Okay? Aloha, June. How are you? But my whole point of the matter is, everybody is being like an armchair attorney, and that's no shade to anyone because I am too, right? That's why y'all here, right? So that wasn't meaning to shame anyone. But Sean Mack said, is it true Jane was snapping at the defense? It's 100% true. I talked about that in the beginning of live, but I'll go over it again. But my whole point of the matter is, just because Diddy's team is trying to rename what is going on does not mean it. Yeah, I did it, but okay, take that out with sentencing. He's bi. Is he? Because the way, I don't know, I think literally he was punishing them because he wanted to be the person that when Cassie walked in the room, he wanted men to look at him like that. But did he stop it? Even if, and honestly, I need anybody that is part of the LGBTQ community. I don't think Diddy was really making waves like that. Even if you were openly out, I just don't think you would ever be that girl. No offense, right? Diddy had his heyday, right? And that Tucci clearly took a toll on his face and body. He had his heyday, but even in his heyday, was he ever really that girl? You see what I'm saying? So even them being like bi, it's like, okay, but the jealousy that you not number one. I think that if Cassie didn't exist and he wasn't, if Cassie didn't exist and he was even openly out, I think he would just be doing this only to gay men because he would be mad because one guy was more attractive than him. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think Diddy was ever that girl, and I think that's what really got him mad. Anyway, Melissa Brown said, keeping us all updated. Diddy is a mess, just diabolical. Exactly. Lucy Moray-Jean said, love your passion, teacher. Great job covering the case. Thank you so much, all right? Again, Diddy was always just a jealous, and I think he would have just been doing this if he was out openly. He would be doing this to like beautiful gay men, because that's the issue. You jealous. And I also think I was talking to Mel NYC Reviews. Hopefully he'll be on my Spottable pod. If not, I'm gonna bring him to the channel because I really want y'all to hear what Mel has to say. He literally said something so interesting that he was like, you don't understand. The pain was not an accident. The purpose of that was the pain. He got off on inflicting pain and punishment out of, maybe he's psychotic, maybe he hated him, whatever, but he got off on inflicting pain. And every single time the girls would be like, okay, I can normalize this, he would ump the ante, even to the point of he had to get violent trains ran on those people because he wanted to see them humiliated, debased, just horrible, right? Sean Mack, thank you so much for the super chat. Eddie Saffron, the peanut lead, said, do you still think Audie will testify? Also, the link to your pod is wrong. Be sure to update it. Love it. Oh, thank you so much. I 100% will. Thank you. Let me make a note of that. If you're watching this in the future, the link to the pod, will be updated. Thank you so much, Eddie. I appreciate that, Mrs. Saffron. Don't forget, Friday, we are going to be on Spoutable. You don't need to download the app if you don't want to. It's kind of going to be like a Twitter Spaces. I'm going to have an open town hall discussion. Y'all can act, you can literally, you don't even have to call in. You can just, ask for the floor, ask any questions you want. We can have discussions. Instead of the chat, it will be an oral chat, and I will let everybody talk, right? I might even cause anarchy and take every 20 people's mics off all at once. I could be like, yes, let it burn. But honestly, it's going to be really good. Oh my God, Jamie Gleason said, get yourself a nice steak sandwich. Thank you. Love you, Tisa, and love from Ireland. Jamie, your 2B ex-girlfriend, your 2B ex-boyfriend. Have you heard? Ooh, 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 ooh. It's this Irish song by Kid Kaki, Date Night. I've really been getting into Irish rap lately. So yes, Jamie Gleason, thank you. I will do that. I'm going to be visiting Ireland soon. After I've gotten into Ireland rap, Jamie, and I really want to get out there just to see what it's like. Have a pint. Tara Nicole Taylor said, is court starting late today or so? Oh yeah, sorry guys. Court is starting late today. It's actually starting at 11 to 5 p.m. Court is 100% starting late, which is why I am sitting here. I know, which is why I'm sitting here. But I will be in court, and you had to get here early for the public to get their name on the list. So even though court doesn't start till 11, I still had to get out here in the trenches early in the morning to get my name on the list so I could make sure that I would be in the courtroom. So it works out good, right? Somebody said Ireland is nice to go to Cork. All right, Nino, I just will. Listen, Ireland, thank you so much, Nino. I definitely will. Nancy Bahle said, always ecstatic to see you. Been watching you since the cartoon character. Love you lots from South Africa. Nancy, South Africa is on my list to see too. I've heard really good things, right? Okay, so Beach Blonde said, come over to Wales too. Listen, I'm going to do all of it. Oh, the Inner City Press. Matthew from the Inner City Press is okay. He's not really saying what's going on. I hope it wasn't a personal emergency, but he is expected to be right back in the courtroom today. As a matter of fact, last night he started tweeting what he could remember from the thing. And he's expected to be back in the courtroom today. So he will be live tweeting, right? Any case, right? Listen. So anyway, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So anyway, listen, you guys, let me get back to the point about the whole thing with Diddy. Jane Doe has definitely proven her case. There's no two ways about it. There is an option that you only need one, but the one gets you a mistrial, which means that Diddy stays in jail and the jury comes back and we do this all over again. And y'all gonna have to be with me for 8 more weeks, right? 6 more weeks, however long it is, right? So there's that. But honestly, Jane did great on the stand. Diddy is up to his little games. There's a lot of chaos and demonic energy around. Jane finally got fed up and snapped at Tinny on the stand because she was like, well, how much is a bullet? But here's the thing, right? Zero Fit Life said, I honestly think that it's about control and manipulation and the fact that he could make women do that for money, which proves the RICO. Because if you love someone, you would never do that. Exactly. And they want to make it seem like this was just something about like freaky and this and that. Let me just tell y'all something. If you get off on cutting people's toes off, are you allowed to do that just because somebody will let you cut their toe off? You are not. There are limits to everything. There are limits to everything. Potent Pondering said, I love how Nancy let you run it yesterday. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm on Nancy Grace. Okay, thank you so much, Potent. So anyway, the point of my matter is things are not going as bad as everybody would want to make it seem, okay? Things are going really, really well for this case. You know, I see why Gina didn't want to testify just because of the dumb people. Sorry, guys. I have to go. I'm doing Nancy again today, and it's getting warm, and I'm just trying to make sure my face doesn't melt off. I have TV makeup on today, right? Diddy, I don't know. What's going on in that courtroom is something, but I got to tell you guys, I am a little nervous. I am a little nervous because I see people in the comments saying ignorant stuff, because I'm on everybody's stuff, not just like we're all of one mind, but I go over to the insults, I go over to the woman haters, I go over men and women, I go over there, and I got to tell you, I'm really, really concerned as to how this is hitting, because I'm just very, very, very concerned as to how things are, how things are going to turn out, because they have them correct. And I'm just hoping it isn't a mistrial. Because if it is a mistrial, the victims have already been humiliated. They've been degraded. They've been ostracized. Everybody put in a lot of effort. And just for the fact that it scares me that one person could literally be like, I don't care. This ain't this and that. Because, you know, Cassie reminds them of the girl in high school that they used to always beef with. Or they feel like, hell, I don't even make $10,000 in a year. What was you doing getting that in a month? And people been like, I would have did it. But the funny thing is, and this is what Mel also said too, that I thought was interesting. If it was really just about that freaky, deaky stuff, you see that he has no problem paying sex workers. He could have found some people, porn star, whatever, that were into getting high all day and literally were into that, right? You could have found someone that loved doing it. But the fact that you didn't, the fact that you wanted to pay someone to degrade, humiliate, and physically hurt a woman that you tricked into believing you were their boyfriend, lover, and that they were on marriage track and they were finally going to, all they got to do is just arch their back a little bit more. I don't know. I find it really, really disgusting, and vulgar. And it does scare me. I went to bed last night thinking of all the ignorance in the world. It just takes one person to stand in their ignorance. And then we have to do this all over again, you know? Kara Jordan said, morning, beautiful. All I can say is itty bitty Diddy really messed up for me. I'll never see the industry the same again. I'll never see the industry the same again. And I actually did a little sit down with Tiffany Red, and it really, she was talking about it. And it's like, everybody, it's like, let me just say this, right? And then I have to actually get ready to go because I have to go do Nancy, right? But also Miss V, to be real, say good morning, Tisa. Hope you have a wonderful day. You are fantastic. Thank you so much, Mama. I appreciate that. Also, Nikki Blue Eyes Austin said, Tisa, is there any updates on juror number 6? No, but we are going to find out about juror number 6 today. Now, it is going to be under seal, but we are going to find out about juror number 6 today, and we will know if juror number 6 was removed. Now, hear me out. I thought it might be something impropriety with Diddy jury tampering, but I talked to a lot of legal experts, and they're like, Tisa, calm down. If it was something that serious, the judge would not be asking them to argue, the defense and prosecution, to answer the point. The judge would say this is a clear violation of law, and you can't do this. You have to go, this, that, and the third. They are saying that they think it might be something with legal, might be something with paperwork. But that said, we will know more today, because I do believe that the judge is deciding today, right? Now, last thing I do want to say, what was I saying? Yeah, just with the thing, it just really makes me scared that after all the humiliation everybody's gone through, after all this, after all that, that literally there will be one person, because at the end of the day, they either are they're a Diddy, they want to be Diddy, or they want to make the people that they thought got ahead by doing something easy, they want to make them pay. Again, the reason why it's so hard sometimes for good to triumph is because people with their own little egos get into the way. But that said, I do 100% believe that, first of all, Jane doing a fantastic job on the stand. Don't believe the hype. She's doing really, really good on the stand. And also things are going like really, really well for the prosecution. And once the defense puts on their case, that's when the prosecution goes into overdrive and they can start, you know, getting a little rough with it. Again, when you're on direct, you have to do things but when you are on cross, that is when you can get into it. And they are going to be on Cross next week. Nina Smith said, you are truly the GOAT. Thank you so much, right? Oh, now here's the thing. Silver Goddess said if he gets a pardon, he will unleash his goons on the witnesses. God help them. Yeah, but you know what? Diddy has done so much and he has hurt so many people that it really makes me think, I do think that if he gets off, he will be unrepentant. But how much will people take being abused before they take matters in their own hands? You know, I don't think that Diddy's reign and reach and terror will be anything like it was before this. I really honestly don't. I really honestly don't. And I hope to God that I do not think he's going to be, I'm not even going to put back in there because I feel like if he is, we're going to be here back here a year or two later for him actually doing something completely unthinkable. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Listen, will Jonathan Adi testify? I don't think so because the prosecution say they're wrapping up their case next week. Again, I am not a prosecutor. I think some of their witness role was not questionable. I just don't understand it. But again, they see everything in its entirety and they make choices. And the Southern District of New York is not known for messing up. And I don't think that they would be reckless or anything with Diddy. So we're just going to have to have faith. Motown Mimi said, good morning, Tisa from Detroit. Oh, thank you. Good morning from Detroit. Shout out to Spoutable for the Tisa Tells Get. Yes. And Kevin Whitley said, big hello from Anchorage, Alaska. Thank you for your hard work. Love your energy. Thank you so much, Kevin. And thank you, Motown Mimi. Don't forget, the link is going to be in my community pages, and I'm going to be advertising this all week. So don't worry. And I'll get a correct link, and then it'll be in the description box. Uptown Kitty DC, thank you so much for the super chat. And Eddie Saffron said, any thoughts on Jonathan Adi testifying? So Eddie, I wish Jonathan Adi was testifying, but for some reason it doesn't look like the prosecution is going to call them. The prosecution actually didn't call a lot of people that I thought they should have. But again, I don't know what they see. They think they have this case locked. They're doing a great go. House of Glam said, morning. Tell my girl Nancy hello. I definitely will, House of Glam. I definitely will. Also, Eva Felipa Watson said, hey, Tisa, finally I can invite you for a coffee. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Eva. Thank you so much from Spain. Hola, guapa. Also, Dr. J-Man23 said, great energy. Are you? No, I am not single, Dr. Man 23, but thank you so much. Ain't nothing about me single. I haven't been single for a while either, but thank y'all so much, okay? KK is expected to testify, but it looks like she's going to be on Diddy's side, just like D-Rock is expected to testify, and it looks like it might be on Diddy's side. Again, their names have been mentioned so much, you need something to push back. Oh, last thing. Hold on really quick. Last thing. Hold on.
You all right?
Hey, what's up? So last thing. Let's see. So listen.
Some people lies around here. My bad, y'all. Some people for the federal court.
Okay. So anyway, listen. It's getting a little crazy out here. Let me let this go. Yeah. Vet Brooks 623 said, hey, little sis, TT, I'm so proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. God has plans for you. Love seeing you on Nancy Grace. Much love. Thank y'all. As a matter of fact, let me get out of here because I have to go live with Nancy Grace. Y'all will see that this evening. And don't forget about my Spoutable and all that other stuff. All right? I'll talk to you later. Bye.